What is an intimacy coordinator by definition?
By definition, an intimacy coordinator is an advocate for anyone who is involved in a simulated sex scene, or where there might be nudity, or where there might be some heightened emotion. An advocate for the people in that scene, but also help to curate the scene. To curate the scene, I help make sure that everybody is comfortable in executing the story. So I like to tell people that I meet them from they've read the script, they see what's there, and they are still saying yes, yeah, right? They're still saying, yeah, I'm comfortable to do this. So now that we're here and you say you're comfortable, now we're going to talk about how we're going to tell this story. And we're going to make sure that they're comfortable getting the story, or they're comfortable telling the story, but also comfortable with it physically. I'm also going to make sure that the director is getting the story that she wants, right? So I said she can get it nice and hot and spicy if she wants it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to make sure that it looks like that, but everybody is still safe. So it's highly choreographed, yes, just like any of the fights are. They are highly choreographed, Haney. I'm jumping ahead. I also make sure that nudity riders are filled out appropriately so that there's legal backup on what you've decided, what you're comfortable saying that you will do. It protects the actor. It protects production, yes. And then I will have conversations with hair and makeup. They've already read the script, but I'll have a rehearsal. So I'll be like, well, she might look a little more rough around the edges once she's done. They might want to know that. I'll also work with wardrobe to make sure that we have the proper modesty garment.
Modesty garments.
Modesty
Okay. Yeah. So let me tell you about my sex scene.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a couple of intimacy scenes because intimacy isn't not necessarily sex. Yeah. But I'll go back to, intimacy scenes that I've done that were not sex, but it was closeness. But I did a movie called Days of Wrath. And when I say it had everybody in it, like it had Robert De Niro was in it, Amber Valletta was in it, Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in it. Like star-studded movie never came out. Hollywood's a weird place. Okay, there will be like movies that are shelved and it has like Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Like it's just a strange place as to what gets held up in, I don't know what the term is, like
Editing, post-production,
or legalities.
legalities, or funding.
Yeah.
Or there's a lot of things.
A lot is it up. So it's 2007. So intimacy coordinators, I don't think they existed back then. Okay, so it's basically up to me to figure shit out. Me and the makeup artist. That do wardrobe. The makeup artist. Okay, so I'm doing a sex scene with Wilmer Valderrama.
Okay.
And I still have pictures from me in the makeup room. I got a robe on. I have no bra on. I think I might have had like little nipple covers or something like that. They took a nude colored thong and they cut the sides of it off. And then they just taped the little triangle to the front and then slid the hammock up the back and just hope my butt cheeks would hold it together. And that was it. And then they just put a sock on his member, and that was it. And then, they closed set, but there managed to be, I don't know, like 10 men there. Yep. And so we're at a bedroom set, and we have to simulate like we're having sex. And it was mortifying.
Yeah.
Like it was mortifying.
Were you kissing and
Girl,
how did they talk about?
yeah, I kind of brought that up. Let's just go with yes.
Yeah.
We'll just go with yes because I mean, it was a lot of noise. Oh God, so embarrassing.
Very embarrassing because it's loud.
Yes, it's loud.
Did you talk about whether you were going to use tongue or not use tongue?
No, none of this was this.
We talk about that these days.
Yes, I know. I can imagine, but at this time, no, it didn't. There was no discussion, and it's just like. There was no woman there to try to coach me through the situation. So I was left up to my own devices. I was left up to my own and prisoner to my own insecurities.
Yeah.
And also just this willingness and overwhelming need for, validation and approval because it's fucking Wilmer Valderrama. And I know who else is in this movie. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be huge. And I don't want to be the one that screws it up. Like that was a shitty position to be in, a woman.
Oh, exposed. You are hyper exposed. I mean, it's like when you have the gynecologist. Very right. You're splayed out. They're telling you, scoot down, scoot down. You're so exposed. And you're very vulnerable, and you have people saying things to you.
Yeah. Like, cut, and you're just really, really, right now?
Yeah. And then they'll say cut too, and there you are.
Yeah.
And it's like, can somebody bring something to cover me up? Or
Yeah. And I don't remember that happening either. I just remember literally Wilmer wrapping his arms around me just to cover everything. It was terrible. I honestly hope this movie never comes out. And you know what? Just the fact I'm talking about it, it's probably going to come out to tomorrow.
Yeah.
On Netflix or something like that. So it was gnarly. So, okay, yeah. Question. When did intimacy coordinators become a thing, like an actual position on the call sheet? Would it hashtag Me Too? Was that what led?
It led to it, for sure.
Okay.
There were people doing it prior to that. So 2018, 2017, there were people doing it, but it probably didn't have the title.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. So 2018 was when I had done my first legit job. It was an HBO job where it was. I cringe when you talk about on the call sheet, because that becomes a very specific thing.
In what way?
When you're on the call sheet, you're usually on the front of the call sheet are your cast members. And number one, to whatever.
Yeah.
On the back of the call sheet is your crew.
Yes.
They didn't initially want to have intimacy coordinators listed.
Why?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, it's like production. They didn't know what to do with us. Where do they put us?
Men regularly down.
Now,
Sorry.
now they had to recognize it and then pay for it.
Recognize the need for it too.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, well,
That's hella progressive.
because, right. And they also didn't want to, I feel like there was this sense of like you're coming in as a consultant,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which we're not. We're not consultants. We're here to not just consult. We're actually here to choreograph. We're here to keep people safe. We're here to tell a story. I like to consider myself a physical storyteller, whether it's me falling down and hitting the ground and how I react to that, or whether it's in an intimate scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think initially they were like, well, you're just going to come in and do a little something. And then you're going to go away, and you don't need to be listed.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to fight hard to.
So were they trying to avoid this from becoming unionized work?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, then that makes sense. But either it's one or the other.